So welcome to part 2 of the tour of the San Francisco Botanical Garden at Strybing Arboretum, which has been privatized and turned over to the control of the Botanical Garden Society. They have no meetings with locals or with members, and they do not put their trustee notes in the library. They use an underhanded process to get these fees. They're putting in a $15 million building back here, and the fees are quite successful. They're keeping people out. Here's a memorial bridge. I guess a bridge must have been a little bit more expensive to commemorate because it doesn't deteriorate as fast and you can't resell it. Here's another bench, dedicated bench. This person must be rolling in their graves as well. As you can see, it still has some of the really cool ambiance. Here's the porta potty because the volunteers don't want to use the restroom. If you see the restrooms, you would know why. Here is the perfectly good and functioning greenhouse. And up here are vehicles. Obviously, this maintenance shed hasn't been open in quite a while. Back here you have some sort of fiasco pond. I've never figured out what. It seems like if this whole area were turned into a Japanese garden, this pond could be a focal point if it were cleaned up, but you know, that's not going to happen. Right back here is the placard factory. And here we have the vehicles. One of the visitors from the neighborhood who gets harassed a lot by the society complains that this is a parking lot with some justification. Here's the fuel efficient car being driven by either one of the gardeners or one of the members of the society. This one is a plug-in hybrid. They're from Vallejo, and he bet they didn't pay $7 to get in here today. Here's another one, and they've got dried plant specimens they're taking out. Here is the what's known. Notice the plaque on the trees here. These are the redwoods. Here comes one of the vehicles. I think these were purchased at taxpayer expense, although they're used by the society. Up in the top of the hill, the society grows all of its crops. And of course, millions of dollars of state bond money were spent on these roads. And yet, taxpayers from Vallejo say, who aren't shelling out $70 a year to be a member of the San Francisco Botanical Garden Society, those taxpayers have to pay to walk on those roads $7 a person. Right here we have the Redwood Grove, which the society has been pimping out big time. Shamefully, the Save the Redwood League continues to give them financing. So they're making a big deal out of these redwoods, and they are nice redwoods, but it's really pathetic that they're able to have wine and cheese tastings in the evenings, and locals are banned from coming. They have every Wednesday. You can come and stay here for free if you're a member. So far, there are no locals here. Everyone is a wealthy tourist because students on a budget aren't going to be paying $7. And they may not be heading on that botany career they would otherwise be inspired by to do if they were here, as people noted. Here's another memorial bench. A plaqueless memorial bench, and that's kind of sad. I wonder if the person's family failed to pay up. It's kind of like if they throw you out of the cemetery. And what's really going to ruin the ambiance of this garden is going to be once they put up the large building up there, the fortress, covering 2 acres where they're going to be growing their plants and not have to meet anybody. And they're going to eventually have a lot of parking spaces there and parties and a $15 admission fee for everyone, but that's some time away because they just can't get away with that politically right now. But believe me, it's their plan. We've already seen that. They're working on it. So I encourage people, if they want to come here, enter by the black door behind the Hall of Flowers. If you listen this far, you're interested. It's Monday through Friday till about 3 p.m. or so, or at least when those vehicles leave. They were locking it for a while and then pretending it was locked, but now they just stopped giving any pretense whatsoever. It's too much trouble for them to get out of their vehicles and pretend it's locked again. So for the foreseeable future, they have to leave that open. It's not open on Sundays, however. Really, please do not patronize this place. Please do not pay $7. Please do not support privatization of our public parks. This is so completely wrong. Out the front door across the way, we have Nancy Pelosi Park Drive, named after Nancy Pelosi without any connection with locals whatsoever. We did not hear of it. It was by Edley executive order. And then there's the white space where the society can park for free. Valet parking sets up there, and you pay money and they valet park and go to their plant sale or their event. They love that. I would imagine they're going to have another such zone out by the clubhouse, so people will just be valet parked there. Again, this provides jobs for poorly paid jobs for individuals, so there is a constituency for this, of course, and they're very careful in building their alliances here, and people are more than willing to sell out if it's in their short-sighted self-interest. In any event, if you go out here, you would see the 2 guardhouses put in a public expense and lawns which are empty of people because there's hardly anybody here except a few visitors that can pay the money and the people who belong to the San Francisco Botanical Garden Society and think they're better than everybody else and want to keep everybody out. And that's the way it is, and don't expect them to change it. But they're the only people that can, because the political culture here is not going to. It's neoliberal